So just making sure we're covering a few of the terms here that I think you should know about. And then also uh, share a little information, like talking about hacking. It's like, how do you hack? How do you become a hacker? If you're interested in learning more about it, for whatever purposes, whether good or ill, how do you do that? And the way you do it is you learn. It's just learning. It's desk work, right? It's kind of like being at school. And the first place to start is just start programming, learn a programming language, and you'll start to learn about hacking. Learn about networking, and you'll start to learn about hacking. So you'll start to learn the vulnerabilities. And some of the most common hacks that are out there, we already mentioned them, but SQL injection attacks, SQL injection attacks. So if you go to SQL injection, right, here you go, SQL injection attacks, and you can learn about those. That's one of the most common type of hacks. And then there's cross-site scripting, and here's another common hack attack. And then on top of that, there's software out there that's written to help you find websites with vulnerabilities. And so it'll just go around and randomly try a bunch of websites. I imagine you could direct it. I've never used it, but that software is out there. But when you install that software, it's written by people who are into hacking. So you should install that software on a machine where it's a controlled environment. You're not going to use that machine for anything else of sensitive nature, right? Because there's probably stuff on that software which you really wouldn't want on your personal computer. So that's how you might start learning about hacking and how to hack. You could even do how to hack, and you get some interesting results. How to hack a website, a Facebook account, Wi-Fi, and I just watched this video, which I do not recommend, but yeah, so you can learn kind of like that's the way you do it. You just start reading and learning about it. So that's cross-site scripting, and there's this really cool video here which talks about cross-site scripting if you want to watch that. Malware, we already talked about it, and we talked about some of this stuff here, viruses. So malware is malicious software. It includes viruses, spyware, Trojan horses. They look like one thing, but they do another, kind of like the old Trojan horse story. Logic bombs, which go off when a certain thing happens. Time bombs, which go off at a certain time. Worms, which kind of go from one computer to another through a network. Protecting yourself, we already talked about the things you could do to protect yourself last week. And so some of that stuff's listed here, and you could read through those if you want. Phishing is, phishing and farming and spoofing, just some terms for the ways that people try to do cons, right, to garner others into doing something online. So never clicking a link in an email, and knowing that websites can be spoofed. So if you do click a link in an email, even if you're taking a website that looks like the official website, it might not be the official website. So always just delete those emails with links in them. We learned what a botnet was in the previous video. Just a bunch of computers where there's a little piece of software installed on it that allows the person who wrote that software to control that computer when they want to use it. And they're often used for denial of service attacks, DOS attacks. And sometimes those are called zombie computers. There used to be a big fuss about cookies back in the day, and does that compromise my privacy? And yeah, using the web compromises your privacy. That's just the way it goes. And cookies are little files that websites are sometimes permitted to write on your computer. They're not malicious, they're not harmful, but it allows the website to keep track of a little bit of information for how you browse only that website. So only the website that wrote the cookie could read the cookie, unless there's a security flaw on your computer. Then that could be accessed, just like anything on your computer could be accessed. So nothing really to worry about with cookies, other than it does allow, just like using the web allows companies to know more about you, allows companies to know more about you. Spam is sending unwanted email. So spam is unwanted email, and that's also against the law to send a bunch of unwanted email to people, or spam. In America, it's against the law, so you're not allowed to send a bunch of email to people if you don't know them, right? And if they don't want it. Something else that's just really interesting in this arena of hacking and government spying and all of that is corporate espionage. And so here's a really interesting news article video about a guy who wrote a book on corporate espionage and how corporations employ people to do intelligence operations for them, which is just, makes sense, right? The people in power want information to make decisions. And so what methods will they use? And some of them are going to use, clandestine, covert, espionage tactics also. And that's just the human race. So that's an interesting video to watch on corporate espionage. And then here's a video that talks about those cyber thieves charged with the global bank heist where they're taking money out of ATMs all around the planet all at once. And so that's kind of an interesting one to take a look at. So just a few resources for you and a few terms there which you should know about. And then we're going to learn about some new stuff here in the next couple of videos.